What New Year's resolutions will help me to become a saint? There is literally nothing better that we can ask for this new year. This past year, the top 3 New Year's resolutions were to create an emergency fund, to have visible abs, and then to find your soulmate, which are all good resolutions, but they're not eternal. And so to ask this question, what are New Year's resolutions that can help me to be a saint? Perfect. So what are they? For me, there are 3 things that come to mind that can really help us to become the saints that God is calling us to be. The first resolution to help us to become saints is the Eucharist. There is literally nothing better on this earth that will help us to become saints than Jesus Christ truly present in the Eucharist. So first resolution, spend as much time with the Eucharist as possible, whether it's in adoration or at Mass, or just plopping your butt right in front of the tabernacle at your local church. No matter what it is, to spend carefree timelessness with Jesus in the Eucharist. I will give anyone $1 million that I do not have to find a saint of the church that avoided the Eucharist. It's literally not a thing, because all of the saints knew, if I want to be in union with Jesus, if I want to be as close as possible to the King of Kings, I have to spend time with Jesus in the Eucharist. There is something so beautiful and something so unique and something so holy about spending carefree timelessness with Jesus. The greatest relationships that we have in our life are those where we can spend carefree timelessness with another person, or another person is so safe and comfortable to spend carefree timelessness with us. And with Jesus, it's the same. And with the Eucharist, that's what Jesus is longing for, to spend carefree time with you. Second resolution for this new year, consistency. To be consistent in our prayer. There's nothing more powerful than a Catholic being consistent in their prayer. The Navy SEALs, the best of the best, they always talk about this one phrase. They say, when it comes to crisis, we fall to the level of our training. Meaning that whatever we train for, whatever we are consistent in, when actual crisis hits, we fall to that level. We fall to what we are consistent with. And the Navy SEALs, being the best of the best, their training is perfection. Their training is the best of the best. And so when crisis hits, they're at that level. They're falling to the level of their consistency. They're falling to the level of their training. We see this with the saints, that the saints were so consistent with their relationship with Jesus, with their prayer, that when suffering hit, when crisis hit, they fell to the level of their training. They fell to the level of their consistency. So if I'm a person that I go to Mass on Sunday, I put in my hour, and then I ghost Jesus for the rest of the week, then when crisis hits, when suffering hits, what's going to happen? I'm going to fall to that level of consistency. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I know how to do. So a resolution that will help us to become the saints that we're called to be is to be consistent, is to every single day spend time with Jesus. Every single day, pray, no matter if you're praying Lectio Divina, or you're praying contemplative prayer, or you're doing spiritual reading, or you're just having a conversation with Jesus. It's about doing it every single day. It's about that consistency. That's what makes the Navy SEALs the best. That's what made the saints that they're called to be. And that's what will make us saints, is being consistent in our prayer. And the third resolution is cultivating a friendship with someone who you know will lead you to Jesus, someone who already is holy, who is becoming the saint that God has called them to be. There is nothing better than growing in a friendship and cultivating a friendship with someone who knows Jesus more than you. Jesus spent 3 years with the apostles, and look what happened after 3 years living with Jesus, spending time with him. What if we lived life with someone who is holier than us? What if we cultivated a friendship with someone who knows Jesus more than us? If you're struggling with finding that person in your life, imagine this. Imagine God comes to you and he tells you, go to the closest cemetery and I want you to raise the dead. Pray as hard as you can to raise the dead in this cemetery. And you can bring one person with you to pray as hard as you've ever prayed in your whole life. Who is that one person who I know, who is close to Jesus, who will help me to raise these dead from the cemetery? Kind of a crazy scenario, but it will help us to understand who in my life is close to Jesus. Who in my life would I raise the dead with? So the 3 resolutions that will help us to become the saints that we're called to be: spending carefree timelessness in the Eucharist, consistency in our prayer, cultivating holy friendship. There is no better goal for this year. There is no better goal for our life than to become saints. So go be saints and go raise some dead. I love you, praying for you. This is Spirit Juice. Peace. You know those questions that are tricky questions about the faith that really stir the pot? I want those. Send it to askapriest@spiritjuice.org and you might be featured on the next episode. Spirit Juice got answers. Peace.